Well, I just found out, it's official that the House of Commons is going to sit tomorrow. So I'm just looking at the notice that I received from the Speaker of the House of Commons. The House of Commons will meet on Saturday, April 11th at 12:15 p.m. Eastern for consideration of measures related to the COVID-19 pandemic. So essentially what this means is the bill that needs to pass, the Liberals should have included these measures in the last emergency sitting, but here we are. This bill that's going to be considered deals with the wage subsidy that many of you are asking questions about. I've posted links about that wage subsidy and an outline of all of the support for small businesses on my website. You can access that. And I'll be posting shortly a rundown of all of the support to date that is available for small businesses, as well as the questions that we have for Justin Trudeau in that regard. But tomorrow, with the House of Commons resuming, there's a lot of questions that remain unanswered that Justin Trudeau has to account for. Many of you have called or emailed my office to ask about eligibility criteria related to some of these programs. Those are questions that we need to have answers for. We also need to understand from Trudeau, especially for people in my community, what he's going to do to support the energy industry, which he promised over 2 weeks ago that he would be providing support for, and we've heard nothing. And of course, many of you know what a dire circumstance it is in Alberta right now, and of course in many other parts of the country, because of the added impact that COVID-19 has had on the energy sector, because of how much suffering was going on because of the policies that Trudeau had put in place. The other thing that we need to know is, where are we going from here? Many of you are saying, Michelle, how are we going to move forward out of this? And I just want to let you know that, again, this is a question that's really on my mind. You can read, it's pinned to the top of my Twitter feed, it's on my website. And I came to you on this video feed a couple of weeks ago with an outline on how the Canadian government can move forward, hopefully prior to vaccine being developed, to move out of a mass quarantine situation with more targeted measures that involves ramping up our testing and ensuring that we have supply chain capacity. We don't have the answers to that yet, but Justin Trudeau needs to at least be starting to acknowledge that we need to be asking these questions and having a plan to deal with that, because it's on top of our minds. So that's something that I hope that we'll be answering for tomorrow. There's so many other issues. You can look on my website for a list of outstanding questions that I've been actively asking the government about. Everything from, people are writing me saying, Michelle, my internet company jacked my rates, my overage charges for data, and I don't have access to internet. I'm not sure I apply for or I qualify for the subsidy. What does that mean? To, questions about Canadians stuck abroad that still need to be repatriated, our debt. There are so many questions that he needs to answer, and I just want to let you know that if you want to tune in live and watch our Conservative team question him, you do so on cpac.ca. I'm sure many of my colleagues are going to be streaming it live on their Facebook feeds as well at 12:15 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. So, we have to hold the government to account, and the government also needs a clear path forward because this is a huge crisis. For those who are looking for an update on the work that I've been doing in the community, I've issued several press releases and pressed the government on a few major issues this week that I've been able to get some results on. So, for example, there was a weird criteria for the Business Development Bank of Canada, the BDC, that they had for some of their loan programs. It was like a morality clause that pubs couldn't apply. It was very, very strange. We pushed back. We saw some movement on that. I was also able to get to pressure the government and get changes for things like people weren't screened on ferries the same way that they're apparently now being screened with the airlines. There are so many different things I've been pushing forward on, in addition to helping my constituents with many of these work files. You can get all of those updates on my website, mprempel.ca. And again, we also have a step-by-step tutorial on this page if you're having issues applying for the Canadian Emergency Benefit. So we're all going to be prepping for this emergency session of the House of Commons tomorrow. I also am going to be continuing to push the government to have virtual sittings or video conference of all the House of Commons committees. As you know, I'm the vice chair of the Standing Committee on Industry, and I have a lot of questions about the supply chain, about food supply and long term, our capacity to manufacture personal protective equipment, and what the government is doing on that. And I have some ideas on how we can move forward. And as I'm coming to you right now on video conference, I think that parliamentary committees absolutely have to be dealing with that, and we're hoping to get some wins on that with the government tomorrow right now. So I want to thank all of you who are contacting my office with questions, with comments, with support. All of that information, and there's a huge volume of it, we're putting that into the queue. We're trying to get information out of the government, and I really thank all of you for work on that. But also I want to thank many of you for taking direction to help flatten the curve of COVID by staying at home. It's very difficult for many people, especially in terms of livelihoods and small businesses that have shuttered. We have to keep fighting for you, but especially as we go into this very special weekend, many of my friends of the Jewish faith, of course, that are observing Passover, and of course, many Christians around the world are, of course, are going to be celebrating Easter. And these are typically time we want to be with family. And this year, that's just not possible. So for all of you who are making that sacrifice in observing your holiday, your faith-based holidays by making arrangements and staying at home, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart as well too, because that's really helping our community. So I'll come to you tomorrow with some updates on this, but I just wanted to alert you that the House of Commons is sitting tomorrow, 12:15 p.m. Eastern time. You can see it on CPAC or on many of my colleagues' pages that will be streaming that, and I'll be providing you with updates during the course of the day on what is going on. Working hard for you. Have a great day.